Now then, let's welcome our first guest to the show. It's the comedian, actor and writer, Stephen Fry.
Hey, thank you very much.
Oh, Stephen, always lovely to have you with us.
Always
Luckily,
lovely to be here.
Not
being
trapped
had
in the
by
lift
you.
this
Yes,
time.
not trapped in the lift this time.
We saw that fantastic idea,
Oh,
the Mental Health Bank then. Of course, you know, you're a huge champion for mental health. What do you make of somewhere like that, and what do you think its importance is then within the community?
Well, I'd say the major importance, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't know if Roman would agree, I know you've also been very open about your own voyages on the tossing seas of mental unease, is that you don't feel alone. Because all these problems are worse if you think you're the only one suffering it or that you can't speak about it. You're either ashamed or you think others won't understand. And initiatives like this, hubs like this, this wonderful cafe, mindfulness and piefulness, what could be better?
Precisely. Precisely.
I think they can only be of enormous help.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're not raising awareness for mental health. Stephen's doing his day job, and he's got a new heartwarming film coming out called Treasure. He stars alongside Lena Dunham, and it's about a father and a daughter who take a very important road trip across Poland. Before he tells you more, let's have a look.
This is my daughter, very famous in New York.
No, I'm a journalist.
Yes, for the rich and the famous.
I talk to famous people. That does not make me famous.
What Jew goes to Poland as tourist?
You and Mom never talked about the past. So I wanted to see where you grew up.
What you and your father do this trip, it is not easy.
Ruthie, if you want to see my old home, I'll show you the house.
We used to be a family. Then it was just you and me. And now it's just me.
Now, Stephen, talk to us about Edek, because I mean, this character it's not just a road trip, is it? It's a really important journey.
It is for that family, and it was for me. When I read the script, I was astonished by the character of Edek because, well, my maternal grandfather was Hungarian and Jewish, and came over to England in the 30s. And he survived, therefore, but his family, the rest of his family, didn't. His parents and his cousins and his aunts and his uncles and his mother and father were all killed. And he had this fantastic zest for life. And you could imagine someone surviving the horrors of persecution, or in the case of this character, Edek, is really surviving Auschwitz itself as a young man. He worked, he was selected for work detail, and he did survive. You could imagine that you would go into life as a sort of with pessimism and hatred and revenge, but he chooses zest, in his case women and food and music, and he leaves Poland and goes to New York, and he and his wife have a daughter, and the story begins with the daughter Ruth, played by Lena Dunham, deciding that she wants to discover her roots, and I come along extremely unwillingly, and I don't want to, I'm like a donkey that's, bracing and won't be pulled, stubborn as anything. And so there's the kind of comedy of that, and my contempt for her very New York food faddishness and the seeds and strange things she eats for breakfast, while I cover myself in egg. But then we do go to Auschwitz, and I show her literally the bunker where I lived, the barracks where I lived when I was there. And it's an extraordinary moment for both of us. I had, as I said, really family who perished there on both sides of my mother's family, and so did Lena. So there were very dark sides to the story and to the film, naturally. But I've always loved any project which reflects the fact that all humanity is a mixture of all things at once. History, poetry, darkness, madness, love, hate, revenge, fear, hope, all these things in one, not parcelled out into separate genres.
No, it is a real mix, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But also there's a thing of, acting it, taking on all those emotions, as you say, and the small factor of learning to speak Polish, which I understand as well. You were practising learning to speak Polish whilst you were filming the morning show.
Yes, that's right. I was in America guesting on the morning show, and in my time off, a wonderful woman called Magda in Warsaw, or as I learned to call it, Warszawa, took me through the Polish language, which is a fiendish language. Any Poles watching, many apologies, but most of you admit that it is a difficult language. I mean, you have words that begin with PRZ, So nie mówiłem po polsku. I don't speak Polish.
No, it sounds
but I learned the speeches I had to have with enormous pleasure.
But are we right that not only did you speak Polish, only Stephen Fry could do this, but you also had to do some karaoke, which wasn't in your sweet spot,
No,
was it?
I have always sworn that there are certain things Stephen will never do. Like Tigger, Tigger doesn't eat thistles,
fair enough.
And Stephens don't do singing ever on a film. If ever the script says he sings, I say to my agent, they do know I don't sing, don't they?
Well, this says otherwise.
Oh, no, dear.
There you are.
Lord. I just have to forget anyone is there.
Yeah.
That if I feel someone's in the same postcode as me, my voice a lot of people with public speaking feel very nervous, and when they do, their voice tightens. Now, for some reason, I could stand up in Wembley Stadium and speak to the whole crowd without being nervous. But if I had to sing 3 notes to 10 people, or even just the lovely crew here, the same thing would happen. I would just...
Well, we've got you a microphone. No, I'm joking. You can watch Treasure in cinemas from Friday, the 14th of June. And if you haven't already, you can see Stephen in the brilliant drama The Dropout, which is available to watch on iPlayer.
Now, right then, it's time to welcome our next guest to the show, whose countless hits are bound to get you up on that dance floor.
Rita, always so lovely to have you here. And again, it's a Thursday.
It is.
Because it's a big day tomorrow.
Yes, I mean, the Fridays have now become really sort of like pressure for us musicians, because everything comes out on Fridays. But yes, I'm releasing a new song tomorrow. Yep. And I'm very, very excited about it.
So the song Ask and You Shall Receive.
That's right.
You teamed up with a friend, an old mate, to do this song.
Yes. Oh, Ray. So as we all know, or if you don't know, Ray is an amazing musician, and her and I go way back. She supported me on tour, actually, a long time ago. She's very vocal about this when she was fighting to be an artist, and all the success she's been having recently, obviously very well deserved. She wrote this song, and I got it sent to me, and it just felt like the right thing to do. It's such a great, uplifting record. All my music sort of has that undertone of love and gratitude and just feeling great and accepted. So my crowds are always very, very, like, they range, from so many different ethnicities and backgrounds, and I just felt like this song felt right. And sometimes it's not that deep. It's a summer banger, in my opinion. It feels good, and that's sometimes all it is to it. So yeah, it comes out tomorrow. I'm very excited.
Well, our audience won't have heard it yet.
No.
But here is an exclusive listen to Rita's new song.
Yes. Seen that yet?
Very short, isn't it?
Well, that's the music industry nowadays.
There you go.
As you say, always, releasing bangers. I do have to ask about that, though. The eyelashes.
Right.
How were your eyes not just fully closed by the end of it?
It was, and I'm also, like, my eyesight isn't that good, so I had to take out my actual functioning contact lenses to put those on to make it look. So I was actually actually couldn't see a thing during that whole thing. But you have to see it in context. I basically evolve into this sort of Harley Quinn type character, and I start kind of going crazy in the laundromat, and there we are.
Speaking of function and fashion, which is the weirdest sentence I've ever said.
Wait, yes, that makes sense.
It is good.
Did it make sense?
It did. It's perfect.
Well, I mean, the only person to ask.
Yeah, I'd looked at... We've got Stephen Fry on the centre. No offence, Al, I looked at you.
Yes, I mean...
Sorry.
I love this show because...
Function and fashion,
yes.
the Met Gala.
Oh, yes.
Right? You were the first person that sat on this sofa, I think. Well, I might have been a bit too scared to ask Chris Hemsworth.
All right.
But since the Met Gala...
We had fun that night, us and Chris.
For people that don't know what it is, it's this massive thing in New
There
York.
she is.
What exactly is the Met Gala?
Oh gosh, it's so many things. Okay, so I've been really lucky to be invited back, sort of like, this is my 10th Met Gala. And the reason why I'm mentioning it is because I saw Ray there, and our sisterhood within the music industry is really tight, you know. It's about sticking together and really supporting each other. And we were just two girls from London, and we went to the Met Gala and we saw each other and we were like, how did we get in here?
Okay, so
how are we invited to these things?
that's what I see. You see the red carpet, and everyone's wearing these like different themed outfits.
There must be a secret entrance.
What goes on in there?
Well, actually, to be honest, it's beautiful. It's so detailed. To the exhibition, first of all, it's to celebrate so many different times of fashion.
It's at the Metropolitan Museum of Art,
yes,
isn't it?
yes.
And how long did it take you to prepare for what you wore?
Oh, it takes a couple of months.
A couple
well,
of months?
because there's a theme, Steve. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's
What was the theme?
right.
I've taken note,
Okay,
boys.
so there's a theme, and then you have to speak about the theme with a designer that you get appointed with, and then you have to make your own version of the theme, like your sort of idea of what that is.
Yeah.
And you don't have any guidelines in that aspect, and then you just present it on probably one of the scariest carpets.
So hang on.
Must be.
Does anybody actually sit down? Because the outfits are difficult to move
like this.
in, aren't they? So
Yeah.
like how?
Trying to sit
what
down like
happens
that.
when you get up the stairs?
That's how I'd be like, you know what I mean? You're like this.
Also, you know, you've had a few incredible people on this sofa, you know, Chris Hemsworth and Zendaya, who are both there.
Yeah.
And they and I, we all just, you know what it is? You see each other. It's like Madame Tussauds, but it moves.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So if you can imagine everything in Madame Tussauds moving is what it's like.
It does sound fun.
But
yeah.
they make Lady Gaga look like an estate agent. You know, I mean, it's just staggering, the things they wear.
But honestly, underneath it all, it's beautiful. It's a real honour to sort of be invited. If fashion is something that you do, which is what I do with my music, I'm really big into expressing myself creatively with my clothes. And so, you know, there's some sort of honour being invited to a thing like that.
totally.
So I use it as a moment to kind of schmooze.
We have to quickly mention as well, new
sorry.
Disney film.
Oh,
You're
yes!
playing the Queen of
What
Hearts.
else can we talk about quickly? We're running out of time.
It's out in July.
Yes, it's out July. I play the Queen of Hearts.
A villain.
And it's a villain, and I loved every
From Alice in
minute of it.
Wonderland?
Yes, well, that's... So The Descendants, it's a franchise. And it's all the
I
sort of
played the
characters.
Cheshire Cat.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you know very well.
Yeah.
It's an extension of that. So if you can imagine, they all had kids. And so then it kind of...
the next
Right.
From there. Yes.
Brilliant.
Well, Rita's new single is out tomorrow, and you can also catch her in Descendants, The Rise of Red, which is out in July, as we said, on Disney+.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, just a reminder, we've been longlisted for the National Television Awards 2024, and you have got just one more day to vote.
Yeah, the One Show is nominated in the Factual Entertainment category.
What was that?
Factual Entertainment category.
Okay.
And we're both in the TV presenter category, along with Jermaine.
Oh, congrats,
Stop
guys.
it. For more information in all the categories and how to vote for your
And for
favourites,
Jeopardy. That's
Do
also
head.
long listed.
Yes.
do head to our website, bbc.co.uk/The One Show.
Factual Entertainment. That's all we've got time for tonight. Thanks so much to our guests, Stephen and Rita.
We'll be back tomorrow with Richard Madeley, Tom Kerridge, and a performance from Becky Hill. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Yeah.